Alright, 1v1 it is. I'm ready. Oh, alright. Let's see if you can... Being a teacher, let's see if you can school me then.
Oh, I love this question, yeah. What is something about being a YouTuber that you didn't expect was a thing when you first started?
I didn't realize how much work there goes into being a YouTuber. I mean, like, you see all of these channels and all these big YouTubers, and they make it seem so easy and seamless, the way they have all their videos put together, their thumbnails look nice, their titles look nice, they got nice engagement in all these social medias and the design of the channel. And see, when I first started, I thought, I'll just make videos, right? I'll focus my creativity on making videos, but then I didn't realize there's this whole other design part of it where it's like, well, you have to have some understanding of art and design to like have your channel and banner. And you can probably see I haven't changed my profile picture on my banner. I don't even know what to change them into.
Yeah. Something so small, so much work.
But and even like putting the right tags in your video, that's not something I was thinking about when I was making a video. It's like, oh, I'm going to make it funny, or I'm going to make it educational. I want to talk about this topic, but then I have to think, well, what tags do I put in so people can actually find it? Then it's like making a thumbnail, putting in captions, there's just so much more work into making a video that people don't see as viewers.
I actually have a part 2 to that question I just came up with when you're answering, if you want.
Yeah, go for it.
So you were kind of saying how you were surprised by like, what I took was you were surprised by how little of the creative time you kind of had. There's a lot more anyways, not just, what's an idea? Let's make it into a video and then that's it. What would you say, just YouTube related in general, anything related to YouTube, what kind of percentage would you divide your effort and time into?
Honestly, I'd say it's 50-50. Like half the time I actually am working on a video, and the other half the time I'm looking at how previous videos have done, so I know what type of videos to focus on next, figuring out, like doing some trends research just to see what people are looking for so I can put in the proper tags so people can find my videos.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it is also like R&D, so seeing like what everyone else in the community is doing. And then I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but I am working on a Patreon right now, so it's like half of my time is focused on how do I make the Patreon page be good. And it's a whole lot of stress for me.
Yeah.
What inspired you to take the creative route in life instead of something more analytical or business related?
Well, actually, I was kind of jumping around jobs trying to figure out what I wanted to do when I was trying to be an artist, a digital artist. And I worked at like a sandwich shop. That was my worst job ever because I have terrible memory. So I would only know one sandwich. And whenever they ordered that, because it was my favorite sandwich, I'd be like, oh, yes, you want that one because I can make that one. And whenever they ordered something else, I'd be like, what would you like on it? The usual. Well, what's the usual? I don't know. But I got lucky and got into the financial industry. And I'm really good with computers. Not so much with math, so I didn't know where that was going to take me. But surprisingly, I kind of stuck with that. It's kind of the curse of working. As your resume builds, you kind of get stuck into like a path. But I ended up being able to move up through different companies and become a manager and have a team. And that's where I started to really get passionate because I thought, oh, cool, I can like inspire people. I have a little bit more control because as anything lower than a manager, you would have to just follow these rules. But as a manager, you could kind of, I'm going to put a sign here. I'm going to advertise this kind of way. So I really got to learn like salesmanship and customer service and things like that. But then I started to realize that there was still eventually a ceiling to my creativity. And then I kind of started getting bored of it. But I was too much into it. So I thought, okay, well, I'm not going to quit. Splatoon came out. Loved the game, and I played that 100% of my spare time when I wasn't working the manager job. And I tried making one video still on the channel and loved it. It was just a kind of experiment. I'm like, oh my God, this was so much fun to make. If for some reason, somehow I end up losing my job, which happened about a year later, the company went out of business. Then I promised myself that I would just, all the money that I had saved, I would just take a full year to try to make YouTube work. If it doesn't, then I'll just consider, it was a fun little experiment and go back to like working a traditional quote unquote job. Yeah, that was kind of the journey that I went through.
Well, I'm really glad that worked out for you because
Yeah, me too.
let's be honest, you make some amazing content. Everybody loves seeing all the stuff you make.
Oh, you.
Clam Blitz on Kelp Dome. How do you decide which ideas to turn into videos and which ones to let die or kind of just put off until much later to make?
Just a gut feeling. Really, I've learned maybe a few years ago in my life that there's kind of like that gut feeling that you have with things. There's a logical sense, and then it's just kind of what your heart tells you. It sounds very sappy, but I used to think like, yeah, no, it's too sappy, just ignore it. And then it was always right, and it always kind of peed me off because I'm like, darn, if only I just kind of went with what I felt. So I've since then promised, okay, I'm always going to go with my gut feeling, and it makes things a lot easier and more practically with video making, because if I have all these ideas and I'm not passionate about it, it's going to take so much more effort for me to try and make and concoct this video. But if I'm really excited about it, like if let's say I hear a song, even though if I have a video plan for like Friday, but I hear a song and the song sounds amazing and I can already start visualizing what a music montage might look for it, I'm going to do it right then and there. Forget the Friday video. I'm going to push that forward because I'm so excited for it. This is such an amazing idea. And I want to show people as quick as possible because I want to see their reactions as I'm even reacting to it, which could be like, up to a week later after I've made it. If I end up scheduling out videos 2-3 weeks later, then people will see it and they'll get excited in the comment section. Oh, Vian, I really like this part. And I'll be like, yeah, whatever. I mean, I did this 3 weeks ago. I don't care, but I'm glad you like type of thing. But I want to be pumped along with them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's usually how I pick what ideas to do next, is the ones I'm excited about. If I'm not excited about it, then I won't bother.
Have you ever gotten to a point where you're feeling burned out or something just wasn't working out and you wanted to give up? And how do you cope with that? What keeps you going?
Well, kind of circling back to what I said earlier, I definitely get burned out if I'm not passionate about an idea. I also have a bad habit of not liking to end series. I'd rather leave people on cliffhangers. I think I don't want to see it go. I even get invested in my own stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that can lead to a little bit of a burnout if I'm like, oh, I have to end this. This is the last episode. I don't want to record it. I don't want to edit it. I don't want it to end. So that's why I kind of just say, okay, well, it's taking a BRB. It'll be right back type of thing. But in general, if I get burned out, I think that's just me trying to keep a balance of work and life, is that I don't overwork myself. I try to not upload things right away. I try to keep like a little bit of a consistent schedule. So even if I finished a video today, I'll set it for a Friday later in the week, even though it's ready to go. Because even if I'm ready to, pump out another video, maybe tomorrow I won't be so enthusiastic. Maybe I'll just be feeling really dead. I'm not really good at gauging my energy and my well-being too much until after the fact. Then if I do feel a little bit burnt out that one day, I'll say, okay, you know what? Today I'm doing nothing. Today I'll just, maybe I'll watch YouTube videos. Maybe that's still kind of working, but it's going to be more of what do I feel like doing and less about what do I have to do. And I think that mentally really kind of helps me recover and get back on track. So instead of having like a one big burnout that a lot of YouTubers like to glorify, I have, I guess, a bunch of little burnouts that I try to correct right away. What kind of inspiration and effects do you think you have on others?
Honestly, I didn't think any of my videos would have much of an impact. At most, I thought, maybe like the types of players would make people feel at least more like welcome to Splatoon. The whole reason I made it is because I was playing, I was like, great, there's all these people who are doing the same type of behavior over and over. And I know I've watched, it's kind of clickbaity, but like Smosh does these types of videos. They're like every blah blah ever, and then you watch and you're like, oh, that's relatable. Like I can feel that.
Mm-hmm.
So my whole idea with those types of videos is like, let me at least try to make something relatable for people so they can be like, yeah, oh, so other people are going through the same struggle, so they don't feel as salty or they don't feel as bad about like something happening in the game. Or the other things that's like more educational, I guess, like the best and worst shared abilities, that type of stuff. I thought it would be more like informative, so like it would have a small impact on people, type of thing where they're like, oh, so yeah, I didn't know what to play in the game. I watched your video. I'm gonna try out something new. Surprisingly, there are a couple of people who are like, yeah, your videos helped me feel good, even though I was like sad and depressed. And I'm over here thinking, oh my goodness, I I feel honored, first of all, that I've been able to actually help that much with like a silly Splatoon video. I never thought that would have such an impact, and I realize it's probably like 1 or 2 people. It's not everyone. Most people just watch it for like a giggle or something.
Yeah, I think I can confirm.
But
what you're saying, or at least personally for me, when I think of your brand, your channel, your personality, all that kind of stuff for your channel, I definitely can pull relatable as the word that I would choose. I feel like when I'm watching one of your videos, I feel like, you're a real person. It's your real personality coming out. And the value you're trying to give is something that you're specifically passionate about. Maybe I'm not. Maybe some people aren't. Maybe they are. But just the genuine nature of seeing that you are actually passionate about what you're trying to show people and deliver to people, I think that personally for me really resonates with me. It's kind of like, yeah, I kind of get what you're saying. Maybe I don't like it, or maybe I do like it, depending on, what you're talking about. But the fact that I can see that you're excited about it, now I actually want to listen through because I like how much you enjoy it, type of thing. Okay, so imagine for a sec, instead of interviewing me, you're interviewing Spike from Splatoon. What do you think he would ask you, and how would you answer?
But I assume he might ask, where's your channel going? Because it's all over the place right now. Seriously, all over the place. I made a calendar and I'm like, great, I'm posting 6 videos a week.
Oh my God.
Surprisingly, I actually want my channel to be more on the educational side with like a bit of humor. Like the Nintendo Switch review I did, I kind of want to do a couple of other reviews for like Octo Expansion, a couple of the other games people haven't tried on the Switch, like Octopath Traveler. I absolutely love that, so like I want to be able to do like a review of that. And then the second type of thing I'd like to do is more similar to game theory, where I actually take stuff that's happening in a game and talk about it using science and game lore, kind of bridge the gap between video games and reality so that people can understand, hey, like this isn't just simply a game. There's a lot of conclusions and like information, stuff you can learn from it, about the real world from it, because I feel like there's a negative stigma about games. Like, oh, you're over 20 and you're playing games. You're like staying at home and playing in your parents' basement type of thing. Like, I feel like that's a very negative stigma where parents are saying, hey, don't play video games, they're bad. Like, the news have given such a bad view of games in general. I
think you're onto something, because in the recent year or two, we've seen that in this generation, I think parents and people are starting to accept that both playing video games like a live streamer or playing video games as like a YouTuber or things like that, video games in general, I think more people are starting to accept that it can be a job and it can be accepted as like a financial gain. But there's still, like you said, a lot of stigma and a lot of belief that there's not any educational value to it, and that, yeah, it's, you can live off of it. But I could see the older generations thinking, no, you're still going to fry your brain. You're still going to be dumb and things like that. And you're not going to take anything from it. That's an interesting take. I don't think I've seen any other channels kind of like show it a little bit more in that kind of spotlight so that it can educate people and show like, well, but look at all these facts that you can get from this game. And look at what I learned from this game. Look at what practical stuff I took from this game.
Yeah. I guess my one wrap up question for this video for you is, what advice do you have for anybody who's feeling remotely inspired or motivated to make videos for YouTube, Splatoon or not? Like, do you have any advice for them? Any closing words?
I think it's the same advice I normally give, is you have to watch a lot and practice. It sounds very cheesy, but I'm a firm believer. It's subjective. I don't know if it's an objective thought, but I'm a firm believer that you can't make something of nothing. No one comes up with brand new ideas that have never been done before, type of thing. In a way, what we do is we look at other people, get inspiration, get ideas from them, and take the little bits that we like, and then we create something brand new, quote unquote brand new, because we took all the bits that we like. And if you keep on doing that, people that happen to stumble across your channel that like the same little bits that you do, they, without even thinking about it, they'll start to come to terms that every video that you make will always have those little bits that you share with them. And I think that's the goal, really, to making any kind of channel. Doesn't even matter if it's Splatoon or not. And then just have fun with it, because like I said, with your channel, people can sense when you're genuinely excited or enjoying something. If you try to force it out just for the sake of making a video or profit or fame or anything, the internet's very smart because there's a lot of people, so many brains working against one person. So don't try to fool people because they will see right through it.
Oh yeah. Definitely great advice. So that's all we're gonna have for this very, very long interview. Thank you again, like 1,000 times, for agreeing to do this. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
And if you haven't already checked out Vian, please go check him out.